What's SOBH stand for?
So one of the things I think that probably as we get older and as we grow up and we look back, right?
I'm getting older.
Old sayings, right, are always around still. You know, they don't care what you know until they know what you care. You know, all that kind of, but they're still around, so they must be pretty good.
Right.
And if you ask guys like Jordan, and I'm sure if you went back even further, or you ask guys like, unfortunately with Kobe, he's passed, but if you'd ask Kobe, or you'd ask any sport, why are you so good? Jordan always said 85% of what I do is extremely mundane, and it's extremely fundamental, and it's very boring. But the 15% of what I can do is what made me the greatest player.
Right.
And so if you don't embrace the same old boring habits on a daily basis, and you don't understand that the grind is what really gets you to the mountaintop, right? Because the summit's the false mountaintop, right? To get there, you got to continue to fight through it, that 15% that separates you between the two. The same old boring habits is kind of what happens when you get into the season. In the old days, you've heard the saying, the dog days.
Yeah.
Right? We're in February and it's the dog days and everybody's kind of whatever. Well, if you really look at the word dog, D-A-W-G, a disciplined attitude wins games. So if you understand that the same old boring habits are going to get you to that place, that's what's going to get you over the hump and get you to where you want to get to. And when you think about you, right? Or you think about whomever's watching this. If they truly took a step back and said, I'm just going to embrace where my feet are planted. I'm going to embrace where my feet are planted. And if you embrace where your feet are planted, but you have a genuine purpose, just treat others the way you want to be treated. Sure. And my daddy always said, no matter how they're treating you. So if you have that ability to just embrace, not worry about a microwave, right? $1.30 and hurry up. When a baked potato's better coming out of an oven after an hour, right?
Right.
And that's what we have so much of. And they just want, I want to be this, I want to be that. Well, what about DC? Like, chicka boom boom, it's A and B told C and D, right? It's not like A to Z. You can't skip what's in between. And that's what sometimes our society, sometimes our younger people, they want to do all that. They see it on social media and they see how cool you are and they see how all these, I want to be him and I want to be that. And man, you got amazing hair. You know, look, you got great, but you know what I'm saying? And they think, oh, it's simple, it's whatever. Well, if they knew, right, Muhammad Ali always talked about what I do in the dark is going to shine. So, like, if they knew exactly what that was about, and that's what this stands for and talks about, is that the ability to embrace in our young people, whatever you do, if you just embrace that opportunity to build relationships and you truly understand that while you're doing it, you and I are we're going to try to make each other the best version of each other we can be. You're going to become better at this. I'm going to become better at this. Someone out there is going to become better at whatever, right? Sure. So our job is to have some kind of impact and some kind of ability to help others, right? But if you do that, make ourselves the best version, right? And we not only think about locally, right? But we also got to think about globally. Because this is going to go somewhere globally. Mm-hmm. This is going to touch people all over the world. And now with these players that we have that are coming in, we have 5 guys on our team right now that are global.
All new team.
But 10 new ones, but 5 guys that are global. Right. And so if you do that, have those relationships, right? The power of relationships, and then make each other the best version of each other, right? And then when you do that, we are not only leading locally, but it becomes global. Now, when they talk about Derek, or now when they talk about leaving a legacy, what's it going to be defined by? How much you care, how generous you are, how you time, talent, treasure, and what you do with those variables, right? And like it says in Matthew, I think it's 25, I mean, it talks about like, don't bury them, right? Don't bury your talents. Right. And these guys are so gifted with these talents that they have, that they've been given. Don't bury them, expound. And then you can go and do different things. So that 15% is probably what maybe is where the coaching lies? Yes. So to convince them of that 15%. Correct. So it's the 85% of the this. Oh, sorry. The 85%. No. It's the 80. No, you're right. It's the 85% of this, and helping them understand that. But then you got to convince them that is so important that the other 15% is probably the best word we got coming out of COVID was organically is going to take place, right? Yeah. It's organically gonna happen. And I think that's what's really critical about what we do. And not a half empty, I'm not a half full guy. The only thing that we care about is pouring in. Just keep pouring in. Yeah. If it's a quarter, if it's an eighth, if it's 3/4, even if it's 9/10, right? You still got another tenth to get to that lid, right? So you're always trying to pour in, pour in, pour in, pour in. And like you said, is it footwork? Is it opening up? Is it maybe finishing our shot? Is it maybe finding the next one? Is it maybe having the cleanest locker that you could possibly have? Well, why would a clean locker matter? Well, because if you're clean and your locker's organized, you're probably compartmentalized, right. And then now that translates. And if you got your schoolwork done and you got everything done you need, now that translates and your plate's a lot more free.
Yep.
So I think all those things, you're 100% right. Like that's where we come into play. And our resource can help them.
Well, sure, you have wisdom. You've developed wisdom over the years.
Sure.
You're coming in with something to teach. I can already tell, like, you got me ready to really excited right now, which is great energy. I'm really thankful. And but what I've been thinking about, Coach, is mindset. And you kind of just alluded to a bunch of that in what you were just talking about. But for you personally, what is that mindset? I mean, is it a specific thing that you wake up knowing that this is what's in front of me that gets you the energy that you have now? What does that mindset look like for you?
You know, I've always been like this. I'm sure back in the day, I probably should have been on Ritalin maybe or something like that. You know, if they would have had that kind of stuff, or we'd have had testing or all those kind of different things that they had. Coach Belin, when I was at Clemson, used to go out on the road and do talks with Coach Belin. He used to always say I was a poster child for Ritalin. And but I've always had this kind of energy, and I've always had a care or an understanding, even empathy at times for people. And so because I've always had that.
What a blessing to have.
Well, so when I figured that out, I thought to I got to get my degree, and I got to teach. I got to coach. I got to teach. I got to be a teacher. I'm going to be a coach. I was 27 years old when I finally figured that out. And then I go and I become a teacher, and I'm a 5th grade teacher, and it's awesome. And I really think I might have been the best 5th grade teacher in America. And I'm going to tell you why.
Okay.
Because as we move through our life, the best thing you can do is do what you just said, seek wise counsel. Well, who are the wisest people when you go to an elementary school and you're a teacher? You seek the people that have been here 30 and 40 years because there's always a ton of them. So I'm Texie and Miss Gatos, and I'm taking their lesson plans, but I'm putting my spin on it. I'm using my energy. Yeah. And boom, next thing you know, it's awesome. And my point is, like, as you know that, as you feel that, you feel like you can continue to do that, but I wanted to do it at a higher level.
Yeah.
And so I was really, I believe in dots on a map.
Okay. What's that mean?
And I believe there's nothing that we do that is coincidence. I don't believe in anything that we do that is lucky. I don't believe it, nothing. So this meeting right here, this gathering, this understanding of each other, and your son's a runner, and our families, and where you go, and all this stuff matters. Where does it matter? How much does it matter? The part in the middle that I talked about is with a genuine purpose, right? So if we have a genuine purpose about what we do every single day, then those things come back. And so, for instance, how did I get to the University of North Florida? Well, in 1998, when we were leaving the University of Wyoming, because Coach Hyatt got the Clemson job, the athletic director at Wyoming wanted me to stay and be the top assistant and bring a new guy in, and then when he leaves, you'll get the job. And there's a lot more to it. But I wasn't having it. I was leaving. Well, at that point, it became very demonstrative. So I'm like, listen, we can agree to disagree, but I'm not going to listen to this anymore. Bada bing, bada boom. That was 1998. 2009, same AD hired me at the University of North Florida. So
meant to be at the right time.
I call it dots on a map.
Right.
So, like in Minneapolis, we're in the basement of a bar because I'm on the assistant coaches committee. The guy sitting across from me, Scott Drew. I thought he was Bryce Drew. I thought he was the guy who made the shot. And so, but he's going to resign. He's going to resign his position as first vice president. Who wants to be first vice president? I just joined the committee. Nobody raised their hand. You know, I think he should do it. He cares. Like, this guy cares. Like, I think this guy should do it. So I became. 2 years later, we get fired at Clemson. Guess who needed an assistant? Scott Drew.
That's great.
And
things worked out.
But I never knew him except for that encounter. That's all I knew of him, was that encounter. But again, God puts you in these places, in these situations, and everybody wants, again, like I said earlier, microwave. It's not. It might be When I got the job in North Florida, the first kid I signed ended up in the Hall of Fame. That was 2009. In 1994, 15 years earlier, his high school coach was a JV coach. And I was kind because you treat people with a genuine purpose. Sure. And we became friends and whatever. And 15 years later, he gives me a Hall of Fame player. So who knows what it's going to translate to or why that encounter
Well, I know
place.
what it's going to translate to. Championships.
Sure. We were very fortunate, yeah.
I drink the juice.
But it's players.
Yeah.
It's players. Like, and Coach talks about it all the time. Coach experienced it. So I don't know if Coach ever shared with you, but when we went to the Final Four for our 6 years together, the one thing we didn't do was leave before they played one shining moment. Do you know why?
No.
Because we were going to do that. We were going to be down there, and we were going to look up, and we were going to watch one shining moment. That's awesome. The way we thought. You know, there's an old saying about vision, right? In Proverbs, it talks about where there is no vision, the people will perish, right? And I always talked about with vision is, like, do you stare up the steps or do you step up the stairs? Like, which one's it going to be?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so with that kind of vision, right? And then what happened to Coach? He won a national championship. Yeah. So, well, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter. And so when you come here, you experience that, and you say to yourself, okay, why not? Then you get to the Elite Eight, and you're like, okay, like, we can do this. So there's no doubt about it. And you talk about, well, what is it going to take? What do you think? Well, we got talent, right? Because here's the deal. Everybody in the Big 12, you think they're pretty good?
Yes.
Yeah. So,
it's
right?
The greatest league in the nation.
So at the end of the day, talent's going to be equal.
Yeah.
So what's going to separate you?
Right.
Character, right? So how well do you have synergy? How well do you come together? It goes back to the power of relationships, helping each other become the best version of each other we can be, right?
Yeah.
So we can lead each other, and some of our guys are global, right? Locally and globally, right? And then you're right there, right? Because you're defined by caring. If you care about what that looks like, right? And you're generous with your time, or you're generous with your talents, right? Or you're generous with your treasures, our guys. So that's how you have to infuse, because you only get it for 10 months. You only get it for 10 months. Well, Coach, what? Well, yeah, he might come back. Well, he might not. So you got 10 months. So you really got to pour in.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you so much for all that.
I'm not even sure what all that was.
Well, it was probably something we all need to hear. Again, it's that wisdom that you've those years and years. I mean, the youngest 60-year-old I think I've probably ever met. So,
well, that's kind of you. Thank you.
Now I want to introduce you. I don't know if you are aware of the #1 K-State fan for K-State basketball, but he sent me a video that he has some questions. We're going to go over these questions.
He sent you a video?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he couldn't be here today. But Jeremiah Belin, you made the video, buddy. So he wanted me to send this to you.
What's good, Coach? How are you?
Yeah, my man. Yeah, I know him.
Here, take.
Hey, I would have been there right now, but I am sadly at work, so I sent this video in for you. I got a few questions for you. For starters, man, as a guy who just started getting in the coaching world, I'm in my 3rd year right now with an AU program. I wanted to ask if there's any advice you give for like a young coach like myself.
He's going to have 3 questions, and then we're going to go over them.
Do you have them?
Coaching. I mean, honestly, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, Coach Tang told me to put it simple, simplify everything as a go when he put it in there. But I wanted to kind of hear from you, man. You've been all over the place. I mean, I got to hear some advice from you, man. The second thing was you were an assistant at Baylor for 6 years from 03 to 09. And I'm kind of curious, what was that first interaction with Coach Tang when you first met him? I wasn't sure exactly how crazy that would have been, especially almost 20-some years ago, you guys were assistants together with Scott Drew, and now you guys are head coaches together at Kansas State. Like, that has to be like a heartfelt moment. That has to be awesome, in my opinion.
I agree.
Next question I had was kind of a funnier one. When you first stepped onto the premises of our beautiful university, did you kind of remember all the times you came here for Baylor as an assistant, just feeling the crowd energy in a way, and just realizing, holy crud, that's going to be my home court advantage. That's going to be my crowd, my people. You know what I mean? But last question I have, I've already asked this to like 99% of the staff. I've already told Derek this question a while back. I got to ask you, man, are you dialed in for the season? Are you dialed in for this awesome season, man? Because I sure as hell am. Go Cats. I'll catch you later. We got to meet in person, man. E-ball. Let's go!
He's got some energy.
He's awesome.
Yeah, he's great.
He had a good Go Cats too. Hey, I like that. Go Cats.
So let's kind of do it in reverse order. So now knowing that K-State is your home advantage, what do you think about that?
So I came here often with Baylor.
Right.
And we had some success.
Yeah.
But I also
K-State won a few games too.
But I also came here 4 times as the head coach from the University of North Florida.
Okay.
And almost got our first money win, guarantee win here.
Okay.
Will Spalding, that group.
Yeah.
We lost in overtime, unfortunately. I made a bad decision as a coach. I should have went for the win. And then if we miss the 3, we lose. And if we make it, we win. That was a bad choice. Don't go to overtime. And when you're getting paid, don't go to overtime. Yeah. Them 12 free throws in overtime, they weren't going to help us. But I'll give you a good story. When I first came with Baylor, if you remember in the old days, the benches used to be on the student section.
Yes. Yeah.
And so while we were there, I went and did a huddle. Coach said, hey, go in the huddle and talk to the guys. So I went in the huddle, and next thing you know, they're going, Rogaine. So I'm like, whatever.
They're roasting you.
Well, the next time I go in the huddle, I'm like, hey, man, we got to stay the course. We're right here. We got to stay the course. Stay the course. And I leave. Coach Drew goes in, and all of a sudden he starts talking, and they're all, stay the course, stay the course. They're just repeating it and verbatim it. So it's an amazing atmosphere. Obviously, I watched a lot of games because of Coach Tang and I's relationship.
For sure.
But super, when you go in Bramlage and it's built the way it's built and it looks the way it looks, when you walk in, you kind of feel like the crowd's on top of you, and there's no one in there, because of the steepness of it, especially when you go up and down those stairs enough. But Manhattan has really, I was at Clemson for 5 years.
Okay.
So I was at a college town.
Yeah.
That obviously they weren't as, football wasn't the same then that it is now.
Sure.
But football was still football. And I'm going to tell you something. I've never, I shouldn't say never, but I've never been in a place that it seems like every single person in the world is all about Kansas State.
Yes, sir.
They're not about anything else but Kansas State.
Yeah.
And that is unique in and of itself. Whether good or bad or whatever's going on is going on, but the fact that their hearts are that pure and they're that true to it, and they're not afraid to be it. And so being at the first football game, obviously last week, I felt it. Because that game was, had so many ebbs and flows to it. But you felt it, and you felt it. And then the drone show
was awesome.
But you felt it even more because, like, a lot of people stayed and watched a drone show because it was all about K-State. I mean, it wasn't about anything else. There was no other anythings. It was K-State. Yep. And so, to me, this is a unique place.
Oh, man. I love that. Thank you.
And they put out a nice picture of my grandson yesterday.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. It was
on what publication?
Man Happiness.
Oh, yeah.
In the Little Apple. Because, September is Apple month. So my wife was playing with apples with him. He had this huge smile on his face. He had a Kansas State shirt on.
Yeah.
And so she put it out on social media. It was really cool. It was Man Happiness, and he had a big smile, and he had some apples in his hand and a little apple.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it was great.
That's awesome. So, let's dive into what was your first interaction with Coach Tang?
Yeah, very first was when he came on campus and pulled up in his 4-door Honda Accord and got out and, met us with a suit and tie on. And so I came with Coach Drew from Valparaiso.
Okay.
So I was only in Valparaiso for 7 weeks. And then we came to Baylor.
Okay.
And so we hired Coach Tang. Side note, Wichita State, Paul Mills, we hired him too. So it's pretty cool. I was the oldest guy on staff, 38, going to be 39.
Yeah.
And I got to mentor all these young people. Yet I wasn't really that much older myself.
Right.
But I had 5 years in the ACC, 2 national champions, Duke and Maryland at the time while I was there. But again, another side note, Henry Dugat, one of our great players, is in the Hall of Fame. One of the first classes we signed that kind of elevated us at Baylor is a GA for us here at Kansas State.
Okay.
And he's 38. So he's as old as I was, and I was the oldest guy on staff. Can you imagine that? I was the oldest guy on staff.
That's a young staff.
But obviously with the scenario, but that was my first encounter with Coach, and I thought it was really cool. The one thing I felt from him right away, immediately, is I felt his heart.
That's awesome.
Like you could just feel that he had a heart and a passion, not only for young people, but for people. And that really connected. I'm really blessed. I'm Island's godfather, my wife and I, and godparents. And so we had a unique relationship. And to be on the back end of my career, even though I had 3 years left on my contract in North Florida, when God called, as he had been tugging but not pulling. But when he pulled and said, hey, here's what I need you to do, like, okay, like let's see what this is all about. 16 years in one place is a lot. And so I'm really, really uberly excited to see and eager to see what God has in store for us.
Big things.
Whatever it looks like. Well, I don't know, whatever it looks like, whatever it's going to be. But what a great way to kind of end your career than to be with someone that you help bring into the business as well too. It's really cool.
Sounds like it's shaping up for a good, happy ending.
Man, happiness. Man, happiness ending.
Let's help Jeremiah out. So he's a striving coach. He wants to keep doing that. Freshly out of college. And what advice do you have for Jeremiah?
I would say a couple things. Number one, simple, sophisticated. Continue to do things that, don't try to be complex and try to do all these things and put all these bells and whistles. Because I think, especially with young people at that age that are starting to learn their craft, sometimes they might get confused. Too much minutia, the mucking up of the water sometimes, the clear of the water, right? Because we all know that when great focus is clarity and alertness. Right, and when you have those two things, your focus is really good. So I would advise them to do that. Number two, don't underestimate or think that something's not important when every little detail makes the biggest difference.
Okay.
And if you understand that every little detail makes the biggest difference, discipline, right? If you have a disciplined commitment to consistency, he can really, really, really help those young people, but help himself. Because he'll grow that discipline. He'll grow that eye, that ability to see what that looks like. And if he's disciplined to coach it, to teach it, reteach it, and whatever he has to do, then that commitment is going to create consistency. And consistency, as you know, creates the opportunity for you to be successful. Because in order to be successful, you have to have opportunity. But if opportunity comes and the preparation isn't there, it's irrelevant. And so that's really important. I think at his level, especially AAU, you don't have him very long. You don't practice very much. So why be overly whatever? Why not be more simple, make it sophisticated, and then boom, you're right on them with some discipline to help them understand.
That's great. And are you dialed in? We all know that.
What was his other question?
That was it. That was 3. That was the he wanted to know. He wanted advice. He was asking about Tang, your first interaction, first impressions at K-State. This last one's for me, and probably it doesn't even make the film. How does your faith affect your ability to coach?
Well, number one, it drives my every day. It's what I do, the way in which I do it. And it's crazy, like so many people are like, man, he just walks different, he talks different, he looks different. And, coming from a state school, God, Jesus, Bible, those things weren't, happening. And so but they still understood. They still felt it without me having it under my arm or whatever. And so that's really important. And I know within what we do, in the way in which we do it, in this purpose that we have, especially as Christians, as people that want people to help understand who Jesus Christ is or was, like, it's really important if we're not afraid to speak it, but more importantly, to live it every single day in everything we do, in everything we touch, in the way in which we go about it. And that goes back to being consistent, being grateful, right? Being appreciative or grateful, right? You know, having the toughness, right? To not click, having the toughness to not do this, having the toughness because sin is everywhere, right? 24/7, 365.
Broken world.
The devil's coming at you, but coming at you. As soon as something goes awry, he's trying to get in that gap. Right? And so to have the toughness to do the next right thing, and understand that Jesus Christ, your Lord and Savior. And then, you know, I know we're spelling out cats, consistency, appreciative, toughness, and then the ability to serve. Right? In Mark 10, 45, I came to serve, not be served. And that's something that Carrie, my wife, and I
love that.
Have really hung our hat on, so to speak, at the University of North Florida when we were at Baylor, and before that at Clemson and Wyoming and the other, Little Roche and the other institutions, is to serve. And I think when you have that ability or that understanding that you want to, and sometimes people don't understand that or don't like it or think whatever. I'll give you a good example. Like, if you pick up a piece of paper and you throw it away, or you pick up something that's laying out of place and you put it in place, or you do, people are like, well, that's not that's someone's job, or that's someone else, or you're taking. No, I'm not. I'm serving. I might make it easier for them maybe later, that when they have to do something, they can do something. So, and also too, I think, Derek, when you have that mentality, I think you're teaching in so many different ways. I'll give you, for instance, had a bunch of young people at this NBA event in May. And I got there early. Early's on time's late, late's unacceptable.
Okay, yeah, right.
The guy who was coming had to go get something. He texted, high-level communication, I'm going to be late. So I was kicking it, the young dudes, 22 to 27. What do you want to do? Want to be a coach? All that kind of stuff. Oh, man, one guy. Oh, man, what's up? Oh, we got to see those chairs over there. It was like 300 chairs. We got to put them out. We got to take these ones down. 300 chairs, sweep the floor, and put them up. Okay, hey, there's 7 of us. Let's get this done before he gets back. Let's do it. And so you go and do it. While we're doing it, we're talking about whatever. Now you get to say something. Now you get to interject a little bit. And now you get the opportunity, right? So I really think it's important. I really think it's, your faith is your faith. People are going to mock you. People are going to make fun of you. People are going to say this, that, or the other, because that's just the way it is. But you got to be able to have a thick face, right? Let it all bounce off, right? And have a black heart. Be relentless, not that way. Have a black heart, being relentless in your pursuit of Jesus.
Yeah. Well, I think more people are like what you said. I think people really do recognize what you're doing and why is it different and why is that attractive. So, hey, thanks for being a reflection of Jesus for everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks, dude.
Thanks, Derek.
Appreciate it.
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
thanks, Coach.
It was awesome.